there has been questions that did Christabela know about her husband's death, and if she knew, at what point did she know, and what did she do, whether rightly, wrongly, or whatever. First of all, I wanted to observe a minute of silence, but observing a minute of silence itakukula we bundle. So assume that we have observed the minute of silence, not only to Robert Ouko, but to all those people who were assassinated during KANU days, all of them without an exception. I have never wanted to discuss family issues the way these people, the family is facing, because after the death of the head of the family, it is always good to leave the people who the leader left to mourn in privacy. I have met several relatives whose family members were assassinated. All of them, without any exception, they have been devastated and they will never recover. And most of them, a few of them, can financially manage themselves from that time onwards. But you have cases where the families have been financially finished off in such a way that they can never recover to the level. So it is always good to leave. Who knows? The other time I saw a video of James Opio's residence in South Nyanza. From the picture, I've never been there. From the picture, it shows that the compound is well managed and is staying a good life. Maybe he's suffering psychologically, but he's staying in a good house. But over 70% of families whose breadwinner was assassinated, they have never and will never recover the social and economic position that they were before that individual was assassinated. Recently, I came across some information that a journalist had written about Christabela Ouko, and she had summoned him when Moi was still the president and looked at him in the face and told him that those two gentlemen you are implicating in Ouko's death have nothing to do with his death. Those two gentlemen were Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi and Biwott. I'm not in a position to say whether such a meeting happened or not. But let us give it the benefit of doubt. Let us assume that the meeting happened. Let us assume that she called that writer and told him that. I do understand. Because if in her heart of hearts, she believed that those two people were involved, any action short of exonerating them would have had repercussions. So, assuming, and I'm arguing from that topic, that meeting really happened, then if she was to tell the truth, things would have been bad. So it is possible that if that meeting happened, she said so because of other considerations. The first time Christabela had any idea was when Ouko's dead body was discovered. Earlier than that, she had no idea. I have already talked in another tape about the other lady. She had come. They had accepted each other. So that thing was there. And I want to thank the Ouko family. Of course, we later lost Christabela in an accident, a normal accident. I want to thank the Ouko family, and by Ouko family I don't mean his siblings. I mean his wife with an S, wife or wives, and his children. I'm not aware of any case where wanagombania mali. I'm not aware. So he was a great man and he had a great family. They decided to move on well. But I'm even aware of some instances which are very minor, but of where siblings started harassing the widow. She made a decision because she was the head of the Ouko family, but the Seda family wanted, or at least to have a say in that. Now, I've said that Christabela became aware that about the whole thing after Ouko had been found at Gotalila. Before that, she had no idea. These are the decisions she made, and she must be saluted wherever she is resting in peace. You know, for Manyasi to be placed inside somebody's court, the widow has to know and has to approve. She approved. Well, the Christian in me is suspended for the duration of this tape, because after this tape, ndarudi kwa hallelujah, Bwana asifiwe. But for the duration of this tape, I am an African. So she gave consent for Manyasi to be placed inside the court. That is a good idea she did, if you ask me. The second good idea she did was there was a riot. There was commotion. There was a lot of this and that at the funeral. I do not know why Moi decided to attend the funeral. As Kale Batemi has said elsewhere, it was very brave for Moi to attend the funeral. A good advisor would have told Moi to keep off. And during the funeral, he was well composed. And people, especially university students, stood there and insisted that before Ouko is buried, we want to know the killers. And she stood up. Of course, being an African, we have agreed between me and you that we suspend our Christianity until the end of this step. If the students would have done that, he would not have been buried with the Manyasi and whatever. So it was to be cooperated, and then he's buried with Manyasi, and an elder goes there, does the kasi, and so on. Then within a week of the burial, Moi called Christabela to State House. Within a week, I think it is even 5 days, where Christabela went with her kids. And Moi thanked her. You know, a president is a politician, but the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, by then it was called armed forces, but today it's called defense forces. The commander-in-chief is a military person. So, askari ni kujikaza. You can know how the president was feeling that when his life was in the mercy of this lady, she acted with a lot of cool. And when Ouko's life was under his, he didn't act that. And most important, askari ni kujikaza, because the president wanted to act naturally. But then, I don't know how you'll take it. Imagine you people talking what you're supposed to say, but what is in your mind is different. I'm assuming that he was telling Christabela, pole kwa kifo cha mzee, hata sisi tulihuzunika. And in her heart of heart, she was answering him, si nyinyi ndio mulimuua. But she could answer back and say, tunashukuru mtukufu ulikuja kututembelea. I hope you understand that, especially if you are a Kenyan. Then Moi assured Christabela Ouko that he is going to make sure that the kids complete college. Anything she has a problem or anything, she has to go there. Yes, she had problems, especially financial aid, and went there. But what would she have done? You know, he was monitoring her. Any slight kuteleza ulimi, it would have meant she dies. They would have, you know, they come up with the funny that you shoot yourself and then take a jerrycan and then light the... So she could have found a reason to die. And even Nyayo House, if you happen to be against the government, you also happen to have a lot of stress, such that if you don't commit suicide where you come from, you could be taken from places like Subukia all the way to Nyayo House, and then because of your stress, you decide to go up to top floor and jump the way somebody jumps into a swimming pool. So she had to decide, you know, I told you, some of the political persons, their families' financial status went badly off to an extent that they could not even afford to stay in the servants' quarter of the houses they were staying. But for people like the Oukos, they were financially stable on through. So when a person like Moi comes and tells you that this is a school fees for the kid, ukikata. So Christabela, and I want to salute her, may she rest in peace. She decided, for the sake of her children, as I've said, and I continue saying, they were financially able to continue. But the devastation that was brought about by his death, they took long to overcome it. And that was the time when the kids were in the colleges. So taking any bold, you know, Kenyans will encourage you to have a bold movement. And then wakati unapatikana unasema hii mjinga alifanya nini? If she would have taken any bold movement and said what was in her mind, she would have joined her husband. Now, kids missing their father is a lot. What of even adding the mother? She made the right decision at the right time. And for that, we salute her.